welcome to Just Us Thinking. I'm your host, Michael.
And I'm your co-host, Rebecca.
And I'm your AV guy, Mikey.
But before we start our show, we're going to kick it over to Hannah and Jess over at Wicked Wanderings. They have a little message for us.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Jess. We're the hosts of the Wicked Wanderings podcast.
Join us every Wednesday as we explore the mysteries of true crime,
the paranormal,
and all things creepy.
We'll take you on a journey through well-known cases
and stories off the beaten path that are sure to leave an impression.
So stay curious,
keep exploring, and always remember to keep on wandering.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
And here we go again with another episode.
Yes, we are. We're going to go to our little guy episode.
Yep, the wee little ones.
Yep.
So this journey, I don't know, I had fun on this journey, did you?
I think it's been pretty fun, yeah.
So I think for, a month and a half here, we did the mythical characters or creatures and things of that nature.
Yeah.
We did dragons, giants.
Yeah, we did mermaids and krakens.
Mermaids, krakens. Now we're doing into the little ones.
Okay.
This is going to be the wee little ones.
All right. So we'll kind of start off like where we have before with some Leprechaun movies.
Oh, yes. Leprechaun. Now, it's that Leprechaun, the horror movie, right? Is that what it is?
So there's 8 films total.
There's 8 of those?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No. The first one came out in 1993.
That's worse than Jason.
I know. They even had a leprechaun back into space or some kind of space one.
Oh
really?
My goodness. Leprechauns in space?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. That's crazy. Now, we're talking about leprechauns. Mm-hmm. That's one of the little ones we're going to talk about today. So, my all-time favorite Leprechaun movie, Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Okay.
Came out in 1959.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
You haven't? Oh, no. It's horrible.
It is?
Oh, it's 1959.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible.
Okay.
There's no sugarcoating that one.
Yeah.
It still holds a special spot in my heart.
What was one of the favorite things about it?
Just the interaction between the leprechaun and Darby. He was kind of a drunk, and it's a pretty good story. I don't want to. If anybody hasn't seen it, I know it's been out for a while, but it's so old. It's a Disney movie.
Oh, it is?
It's a Disney movie. I don't know. It's just one of my favorites.
Okay.
So we are going to talk about leprechauns, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The other one is going to be, we're going to talk about gnomes as well.
Yep, the other little guys.
The other little guys. Now there's a lot of gnome movies too, right?
Yeah, you have Gnomeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have Sherlock Gnomes.
I like that one. Sherlock Gnomes was a cute little movie.
Yeah, I think they were all cute ones. And then you also have Gnome Alone.
All right, Gnome Alone. I haven't seen that one.
I haven't either. It's basically it's a cartoon, of course. This girl moves into this house and she finds all these gnomes living under the house, basically.
Okay, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it looked pretty good, so.
Yeah, so now.
Yeah, also some of the TV shows have done specials with leprechauns and gnomes.
Really?
Yeah. Bewitched did it, and then so did Bonanza.
Bewitched did I could see leprechauns and stuff in Bewitched.
Yeah, but not in Bonanza.
Where did they get that in Bonanza?
I have no idea.
Bonanza?
Yeah.
Leprechauns in Bonanza, the Wild West.
Yeah.
There's a little gnome wearing or leprechaun wearing a cowboy hat, carrying a 6-shooter.
No, it was regular leprechaun attire.
Okay.
Green hat and all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I might have to go back and see an episode of Bonanza.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy. And then the magical legend of the leprechauns.
Yep, that one came out in 1999. It was basically, one of those like feel good type movies about leprechauns. So.
Oh yeah, because we need a feel good for leprechauns, don't we?
Yeah.
All right, so leprechauns. Now this is Irish folklore.
So it comes from it's always been considered like the tiny old man with a cocked hat and a leather apron.
That yells, "Get off my lawn!" Right?
I thought those were the gnomes.
Oh yeah, maybe they both do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either, but
So they are supposed to be cobblers.
oh, they are? Okay.
Yep. So there's a little bit of lore with that. So you got their pot of gold.
Right.
So if you catch one, you catch a leprechaun, and you could get basically you could like ransom him for a pot of gold, basically.
Cool.
So
Let's go leprechaun hunting.
well, I mean, I think it's supposed to symbolize, the hunt for always trying to hustle, or you got to be fast to get money.
Oh, okay.
So I could kind of see that.
Yeah, okay.
It's also a lucky symbol. They have the 4-leaf clover,
Right.
but they're considered little tiny tricksters.
I've heard that. So, yeah, that's...
So yeah, they're basically to deceive humans and serve as a warning against greed.
Oh. That's
So
kind of interesting.
yeah, it's kind of cool little storyline there.
Okay.
Which is why that one little leprechaun doesn't want them little snotty little kids stealing his Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's going to steal my Lucky Charms.
So yeah, it's kind of Now here's the question: do leprechauns exist, or did they exist?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that at one point they may have smaller people may have dressed up as them, and that's maybe where they got the lore and everything from. So maybe they did.
I could see that. I mean, it's a matter of, did some little old man that was kind of short and kind of
Yeah.
kind of stingy with his money, not give any money to the grandkids, and make them earn it, or
Yeah, that's a good starting point, I think.
yeah. And I mean, I think they're like supposed to be 2 or 3 foot tall.
Oh, okay.
So now you got to understand that this may be back in a time where people were shorter.
Yeah.
So if if you're considered now, I believe the Irish aren't known for their height. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think they are, no.
so they're generally a shorter stature of a person.
Yeah.
So if, back in the day, maybe they're, 4 foot, 4'6" might be, tall or average.
Yeah.
So if you're talking, 4 foot tall, you get a couple people that are below average, or there is dwarfism that exists.
Yeah, that does. So that could be a possibility too.
So someone that's already short stature that has dwarfism,
Yeah.
and there you got your leprechaun.
There you go.
You got a very tiny person.
Yeah.
So I could see that, and I could see, I don't know, I could see it.
Okay.
So I could kind of say maybe it was dwarfism, and again we tell them to go off, and they don't mix with regular people.
I want to know where the pot of gold came in from again.
I don't know. I still think it's some rich uncle that just said screw the kids,
Yeah.
or screw the family. That's my money. You can't have it. My father must have been a leprechaun, because he was very greedy with the money. And I mean, he used to, that was one thing he did, is he was like, he kind of held it over your head.
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
So, why wouldn't a little redheaded Irishman in a green hat?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think, I don't know, I can see it, can't you?
It's a very good possibility, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, so.
All right. Now, what about gnomes?
So gnomes actually come from German folklore. They're basically called the little men of the earth.
Now, you're talking about German gnomes.
Correct.
They also come from Sweden, Norway, and that
Okay.
area as well.
Oh, okay.
And that does not even include the Christmas gnomes.
Oh, yeah.
So gnomes are actually a little more widespread than leprechauns.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes sense. I mean, I heard that, like, one of the things was they like to keep underground and they'll, like, burrow through the earth or something like that. It was weird.
yeah. So well, here's the thing. I mean, if you are a small little stature, and again, you're talking 2 or 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
If
That must be
not,
why they like gardens so much.
it might be even shorter.
Yeah.
So can gnomes exist, or did they exist?
I don't know about the whole, like, burrowing underground and all that stuff. I don't
Well,
know about that, but
I think we over exaggerate it too. Come
Yeah.
on, don't we do
So-
that all the time?
yeah. I mean, I guess they could be like your German version of a leprechaun, I guess. So just smaller statue.
Well, it's
You
not
know.
just German. It's where did the Swedish and the Norway gnomes come from?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all probably in that whole general area.
So now you have your phone. I'm gonna have you look something up here, because there's a picture. I know there's the shortest human.
So that goes to Chandra Dangai of Nepal.
Okay, and how tall?
So he is recorded as the shortest man ever, and he stood at 25.5 inches tall.
So 25 and a half. So that
Oh, I'm sorry, 21.5.
that's that. Yeah, holy cow! That's
Yeah.
you misjudged him by 4 inches.
I did. I gave him a little height.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you gave him some boots or something.
Yeah.
21 inches.
21.5.
So he's less than 2 foot.
Less than 2 foot, yep.
Okay, and the girl I found, and I cannot pronounce her name. She was born in 1993. She is an Indian actress, notable for being the world's shortest living woman according to Guinness World Records.
Okay.
And she is 2 foot 3/4 of an inch tall.
Wow.
So 2 foot.
Wow.
So anybody that sits here and tells me that a person that's 2 foot can exist, they do.
That's crazy.
So if you're going to put a leprechaun, a leprechaun is taller than these guys.
Yeah. I wonder how many people there are under like 4 foot.
I think, 4'4" is Brad Williams. He's a comic.
Okay.
I love him. He's great.
Yeah. And then there's, of course, Peter Dinklage he was the Game of Thrones guy, right?
Yep. He's 4'5".
Okay.
He was also in Thor
Thor, yep.
or Guardians of the Galaxy. One of them. He played the giant dwarf.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the guy from Austin Powers, which is Vern Troyer. He was the mini-me.
Yeah, the mini-me.
Yep, he
Yep.
was 2 foot 8 inches.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, they're right in the leprechaun size limit right there.
They are, yeah.
You know,
Wow.
I and how many? Even if you go back and you look at all the, now we're going to get into dwarfs, and dwarfism is a thing.
Right.
They're the little people as well.
Yeah.
And I know I want to say, and sorry, we're not politically correct, but I think one of the terms midget is, I don't know. I think I heard it was a slur, or it's
Like a slang word, kind of, yeah.
kind of like a slang word. So
Yeah.
now I mean no ill will toward anybody when I say any of the words I do.
Right.
Sorry, dealing with me, you kind of have to have a thick skin sometimes. But
yeah.
now here's the other question that I have is, how many of those people with dwarfism, or however you want to say it, the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
I
know.
mean, they had a lot of little people there.
Yeah.
What else? Isn't there another show?
Yeah. TLC had Little People, Big World.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing that.
And the reason I liked watching that one is because they lived in Oregon.
Ah,
I remember.
You just like Oregon.
Yeah. I remember one year I was like, I should see if I can go find where they live.
There was a village in San Diego that had they lived off of a mountain, and their homes were smaller.
Oh, yeah.
And they did not like people. They did not like tourism.
Oh.
So you did not go in that area.
Yeah.
You left them alone.
Well, yeah. And I mean, there's people like the TLC show. I mean, they asked for it. You know, they knew what they were getting into when they signed up for a TV show. So that's
Different.
That's different.
That's
yeah.
different. You don't.
So.
But if they didn't want, then you don't go to home. Sorry, don't go to Brad Williams' home. He
Yeah.
doesn't want that. Go to his show.
Go to his-
He
yeah.
loves you at the show. He'll have fun. Don't go to Brad Williams' shows trying to tell him, dwarf jokes. He's heard them all, and you're not funny about them.
Yeah.
You know.
Only he can make fun of himself. So.
Well, I mean, other people can make fun of him too. I'm okay with that, but.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't go to a show where, Brad Williams and he's, saying I'm a dwarf and everything, and then you go in the meet and greet and start trying to tell him jokes.
Yeah.
You're not a professional comedian. Leave that to him.
Yep.
He probably has some pretty good tall people jokes.
He probably does. Yeah.
I kind of want to hear those now. So no, it's they do exist.
Right.
So it's not unheard of that says a family that had dwarfism or this little person syndrome, they could have existed. And if you think about it, people are cruel and mean.
Right.
And if you're dirty, or you're that close to the ground and you trip them, they're always getting dirty. And you're kind of kicking them when they're down, which is not a good thing.
No.
Don't recommend it. But I could see how people could have been rude, mean, and that could be where they said, "Oh yeah, they're burrowers and they just live in the dirt." Well, it's because probably because people kicked them down and they were trying to kind of humiliate them. People did that back in the day. I mean, that was kind of a thing. It shouldn't have been a thing.
No.
But our history all over the world is, making fun of others that don't look like you.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
look like
true.
me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make it right, but it did happen. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say, myth. I don't think they had some mythical powers.
Right.
Although they could probably, pick up a rock really quick and throw it at you. So hit you upside the head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dwarfs, they exist. Well, they
Right.
do still exist.
Yeah.
They're here. I think with as short as we've gotten here, with, a couple of them that were like 2 feet, and they found a pygmy tribe on an island where they found like really small people.
Oh, wow.
So, and they lived in a cave. So there's your burrowers right there.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So now I don't think, that doesn't mean you go kidnap little people to try and steal their pot of gold. With the exception of, I'm sure Peter Dinklage has a pretty good stash on him now.
He probably does.
Don't
yeah.
kidnap him, but he probably made a pretty good penny now.
Oh, yeah.
The top 3 that we said probably made pretty good money.
Yeah, they probably
Brad
all-
Williams probably hit you over the head with his bag of coins.
Yeah.
Try and steal it. He will kick your butt for that bag of coins.
Yeah.
He'll take
He's
his
so
little.
funny, too.
I love him. He's
I do
hilarious.
too. Yeah. I always remember the story of him trying to get in the helicopter on the
That's-
army base or whatever he was at.
That's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. That is Uppy. he's just a really good. He has thick skin.
Yeah.
So he's I would think that's what we're lacking is a lot of people don't have the thick skin to be made fun of. And here's the thing: if you're going to dish it out, you better be able to take it.
That's true.
And God, he's so quick.
Yeah.
He is very quick-witted. I wouldn't want to make fun of him. He would make me look like a fool. Man, yeah. There's so many things he could joke around with me about and make me feel probably half his size.
Yeah.
And I deserve it if I decide to try that. So don't do that. That's not, I would find it entertaining because he'll eat you alive.
Yeah.
I love the what are they, the hecklers for comedians.
Yeah.
Man, those you do not go toe to toe with a comedian. You don't do it.
Yeah.
They're professionals. They practice. They're going to destroy you. You don't stand a chance. And then you take Brad Williams or one of these other ones. Oh my God, they don't want you to it. They don't want to do it. They do not want to destroy you. But they will.
And they have so much fun doing it.
I know. Well, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah.
Oh, I would, yeah. So.
Yeah, that would be like the best part, I think. Well, okay, maybe not the best part, but that would be pretty entertaining.
I think
sure.
it would be kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
So there's a lot now. I think we just kind of touched on some of them, right? Now there's many people that are not famous.
Yeah.
That suffer for this.
Yeah, so there's like an estimated 65,000 people in the U.S. that have dwarfism.
Hard to say there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was forgetting about Pauline Muster. She's from the Netherlands, and she was 24 inches tall.
Oh, wow.
She passed away a long, long time ago.
Okay.
So like the 1800s.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That is a long time ago.
So there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of lore with little people.
Yeah, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh, we didn't even
Yeah.
go there. Okay, so now we're going to go into history because I'm curious. Mikey, how many Seven Dwarfs can you name?
Okay, so you have Grumpy,
Yeah.
Doc,
Dopey,
and that's all of them that I have off the top of my head.
That's all you got? Really? 3? All right. Now, Rebecca, you got it, right?
Yep, they are Happy, Doc, Grumpy, Dopey, Bashful, Sleepy, and Sneezy.
Yep.
Yeah, I would never have gotten that.
Now, they are really famous there.
Yeah.
So, now, if you're going to start going into the realm of, like, tabletop gaming and D&D, you've got dwarves, you have halflings. Oh, yeah, we forgot about hobbits.
Oh, yeah.
From Lord of the Rings and
Okay.
all those, yeah, and the Hobbit. I mean,
Yeah.
So, I mean, look how tall Gandalf was supposed to be, a human wizard, standing next to, Bilbo. Is it Bilbo?
I think so.
Is that? I hope I'm right. I think it's Bilbo.
Yeah. I think you're right.
All right. So
We'll go with it.
And they have like little hairy feet.
Yeah.
So big hairy feet too. Their feet are kind of, but that happens.
Yeah.
So now there's also, God, and I only know this because Brad Williams said something, like a dwarf. When you suffer from dwarfism, it's like your head's like the size of a normal person,
Yeah.
but all your limbs are much shorter.
Shorter, yeah. And you have more prone to medical issues and stuff like that too.
Well, you get that with gigantism too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens on both sides. So, Mikey, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see all these people being considered dwarves or gnomes or leprechauns.
Yeah, so the legend, I think there's some truth in that legend. Now, they don't have special powers.
Right.
So, I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could kind of, I could kind of see that.
Nor do I think you'll see them at the end of a rainbow.
Well, the problem is you can never get to the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. So you never know.
Yeah, so you never know.
You can never reach the end of a rainbow.
No.
Nope.
Nope. That's why chasing that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is a pointless task.
Okay, then.
So yeah, you're not you'll never get to the end of the rainbow to catch that pot of gold. It's not there. Now, I think there's a metaphor in there. I think the metaphor is you have to continue to chase your dreams for it to be rewarding.
I could see that.
So I think there's a lot of metaphors. I think there's a lot of lessons that you could learn with some of that old folklore.
Yeah, definitely.
That could happen. So I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that's we know they exist. Now I don't think I don't think there's a bunch of leprechauns that are suffering from this ailment that are hiding gold all over the place. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, if you're that short and you're worried, I mean, there's bullies that exist, right?
Yes, there are.
So if bullies are generally the big, they're the bigger guys, right?
Yes.
Big bullies, right? Well, if you're a small person, now average person against a bully, they normally get beat up, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can you imagine if you're a very, very small person suffering from dwarfism?
That would be pretty scary.
Yep. Would you not hide your gold, or would you hide money
Oh, I would.
so
for
they
sure.
didn't beat you up and take it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There it is.
Yeah, that's. I can see that.
I just told you where leprechauns
Yeah.
came from.
Okay.
I could totally see it.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
yeah. Now gnomes are the same way. They're generally quiet. They keep to themselves. Well, if you're not a very tall person, you probably don't want to draw attention, and you don't want to get those bullies to mess with you.
Yeah.
So you're kind of you'll kind of create your own little friends, because when that show in Oregon, how many little people were there on there?
So it was the family, the parents, and then they had 4 kids.
Okay.
3 of them were normal size, and 1 was a dwarf.
Okay, so it can not, just because you have that doesn't mean your kids are gonna get it.
Yeah,
They can.
they can, but it's not. I guess it's not like
It's not a guarantee.
right, because like the one son who was the dwarf, he got married to a normal sized person.
Okay.
They have a couple kids too. I can't remember. I think at least one of their kids is smaller, and their other kid was normal size.
Okay. I mean, here's my problem with being a dwarf or a little person.
Okay.
So, wait, what are you laughing at? You're already starting to laugh.
Yeah.
I haven't even said this, and you're already starting to laugh.
Yeah.
So you're a dwarf dad or a little person, and then you have a kid who, at the age of 2, is just as tall as you are.
Yeah.
How do you discipline a kid that's taller than you?
Oh, that's a good question.
And what happens if, I don't know, let's say you're short and what we talked 4'4", 4'5",
Yeah.
4.5 foot tall. That's how tall you are.
Okay.
And somehow your kid is 16 and 6'4".
Their mom or your other half had to be tall.
Not necessarily. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's, things happen.
Yeah.
How do you discipline that kid? Go to your room. No. He will stick your ass on the refrigerator, and you have to ask to come down. You sure as hell couldn't take a belt to him.
No.
You barely hurt the kid's ankles. That's horrible. I mean, you can't discipline. I mean, you have to go hard. You better be strapped. Shoot his ass in the butt with a BB gun. Teach him a lesson. I don't know. That's the only option, right? How do you?
I have no idea. Wow.
I mean, when the
going
kid's that
there.
tall, I'm serious. When your kids are that tall, they put you on the counter in timeout, and there's nothing you can do.
That's true. Pick you up and put you on the counter.
You better be wearing a parachute everywhere you go if you have to get down from something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
You have to have a baseball bat, and you better be able to go hard. You better have like one of those little mini bats that you get from a souvenir from a baseball game, and you just go right for the kneecaps. That'll
No,
hurt.
they need a full-size one.
They can't carry a full-size bat.
That's true. Okay.
How are you going to wield that thing? That's ridiculous.
Oh.
You give them a dagger and it looks like a sword. I mean, sorry. I don't mean any offense to the little people.
You're... Oh, my God.
But I'm serious. I'm curious. If I ever run into Brad Williams, I'm going to ask him these questions. Because,
Okay.
I mean, he has to be worried that if he has a kid, that if it grows, if it's bigger than him, I mean, now, Brad Williams doesn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
Brad will hurt you with words. He has learned that art. That cuts further. That's more of an ass chewing than any belt he can pick up. I'm
Yeah.
serious. He could chew someone out and doesn't even have to touch him. Nope. He can just make him feel, yeah.
Yeah.
So Brad Williams is okay.
Okay.
Peter Dinklage.
He'd probably be okay, too.
Yeah, I think he'd be
Yeah.
okay too. He has that look.
Oh, yeah.
He has that look like just
Don't mess with me.
that look that'll look at you like you're a dumbass and just make you. Yeah, so those guys are okay, but normal little people, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, God, you got to hire somebody. Hey,
Yeah.
see that on Craigslist. Little person looking for big person to whoop son. Inquire within. That could happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I mean, and I'm for hire. If any of you little people need need to whoop them, I'll come over there and I'll take care of that for you. I'll do my service for you guys. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No? Would you do it?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my. I'm curious. I'm honestly curious on because I mean, kids grow up,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I mean, you look at it and you're like,
That is a very good question. I hate to say it, but it is.
I mean, now the mom's a different story
Yeah.
because you don't hit a woman and that kind of deal. So when she takes a spoon to you, you just have to deal with it. Yeah, I don't care how big or small you are, you're going to stand there and get whooped by your mother.
Yeah.
But your dad on a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he has to jump up like I don't know a little mini trampoline so he could drop kick your ass. I don't know. I'm sure they have some kind of plan. I'm sure. I hope they do.
I would
If
think
there's
so,
if there's
yeah.
a little person that listens to me, I honestly want to know, like, what's your game plan here? I'm curious.
Okay.
I have no clue
I don't either.
because you got to go hard. Some of these kids are mean.
Oh, yeah.
And they need an ass whooping, but what happens when they don't get one, and yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I remember Bewitched. Now see witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's no big deal. They do something, they turn them into a toad or something. Go ribbit outside for
Yeah.
a couple hours and think about what you did. That's why witchcraft would be great.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any of that crap.
That would be kind of cool.
So I don't know. Did we cover all the little people? Did we miss anybody?
I don't think we did.
So we got, I think we got everybody.
I think we did, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that was a pretty good show.
Yeah, that was
Kind
pretty
of went
fun.
off on the end, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I normally do, so.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So tell our listeners where they can all find us at.
Oh, you could definitely find us on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, and we're on X.
Okay. And then you can listen to us on iHeart, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, the YouTube Music, and Samsung.
Now we're also on YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok.
Yep. So any podcast, social media outlet you can think of, we're on there.
Yep. We're always on Facebook, so you could always shoot us a message.
Yep.
Make sure you like and follow us there. I think we're going to wrap up our mythical adventure here, and we're going to end it on this note.
All righty. Bye, everybody.